No one becomes a parent ready. There's no real preparation for the moment you hold a tiny human in your arms and realize that from now on, their happiness will always matter more than your own. It's instinct, it's biology, but above all, it's love. Love that wakes you up at night to check if they're breathing. Love that makes you want to build a wall around their world so nothing ever hurts them. Love that will give everything, even itself, to protect. But love has a shadow. The deeper it runs, the more fear hides inside it. Fear of losing them, fear of failing them, fear of not being enough. And fear, when it wears the mask of love, becomes control. We start to shape them, to correct them, to mold them into what we believe will keep them safe. We call it education. We call it discipline. But sometimes it's just the echo of our own panic. This is how good parents lose their children. Not to drugs or rebellion or strangers, but to silence, to distance, to a love that forgot how to breathe. The tragedy is not that we stopped loving them. It's that we love them in the way we were taught, by those who never learned how to love without fear. Parenting moves like a pendulum, swinging between control and chaos. Our grandparents ruled with fear, our parents with authority. We, the modern ones, were supposed to do it differently, kinder, freer, more conscious. Yet somehow, the pain still repeats. The parent who was punished now fears setting limits. The one who grew up ignored now needs their child's approval. The one who lacks structure turns discipline into a religion. Every parent is fighting an invisible ghost, the child they once were. And so, while we think we're raising our children, we're really negotiating with our own childhoods. The strict parent says, "I won't let you make my mistakes." The permissive one whispers, "I'll never make you feel unloved like I did." Both are driven by love, both by fear. But love that tries to erase pain only ends up repeating it. Control and chaos are just two sides of the same wound. One clings to order to silence anxiety. The other clings to harmony to avoid conflict. But both are ruled by the same unspoken question: am I good enough as I am? The first lie of parenthood is that we can keep them safe. That if we love enough, plan enough, sacrifice enough, nothing bad will happen. But safety is an illusion. And the more we chase it, the more fragile it becomes. That's why love so easily turns into fear. The mother who checks every message, every movement, every friend isn't doing it because she doesn't trust her child. She's doing it because she doesn't trust the world. Because once, the world hurt her. The father who pushes his son toward perfection isn't doing it to be cruel.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something, not even me.
He's doing it because he still remembers the sting of failure, and he can't bear to see that same disappointment in his child's eyes. We think we're protecting them from pain, but most of the time we're protecting ourselves from remembering our own. Fear in disguise is still fear, and fear disguised as love becomes control. We tell ourselves we're guiding them, but what we're really doing is holding on to the one thing we can't admit we're terrified of losing. Every parent eventually faces a mirror. Sometimes it's in the eyes of a child who talks back. Sometimes it's in a slammed door, a silent dinner, or a sudden distance you can't explain. That mirror doesn't lie. It reflects every unhealed part of us. The irritation when they disobey, that's the voice of your own rebellion that was never allowed to exist. The panic when they withdraw, that's the echo of the child inside you who learned to disappear to stay safe. Parenting is not a job. It's a mirror that reveals your truth. And the truth is, we cannot raise children who feel free if we're still living inside the prison of our own past. So many of us try to heal through our children by giving them the love we never received. But healing doesn't work through substitution. It works through awareness. Your child doesn't need to live the life you never had. They need you to make peace with the one you did. The moment we realize that, something breaks and something begins to heal. Most parents don't lose their children in one big explosion. It happens slowly, a distance forming through unspoken things. A teenager who stops sharing, a young adult who calls less, visits rarely. And one day, you realize the connection is still there, but the intimacy is gone. They've learned to protect themselves from you. That's the quiet tragedy of good parents. Not monsters, not villains. Just people who loved so much they couldn't bear to let go. They built walls to keep their children safe, not realizing those same walls kept love from getting out. There's a saying, you can't guide from a wound you refuse to see. Healing doesn't start with your child. It starts with you. Sit with your anger. Trace it back to its origin. You'll find it began long before they were born. Sit with your guilt. Beneath it, there's grief for the life, the innocence, the care you didn't receive. Healing means learning to parent the child inside yourself so you can stop asking your child to do it for you. Because every unhealed parent will eventually demand that their child carry their pain. Whether it's through obedience, achievement, or emotional caretaking, it's the same burden passed down in different wrapping. But when we finally look inward, something extraordinary happens. The chain breaks. Healing doesn't mean perfection. It means presence. You won't always get it right. You'll yell, you'll regret, you'll stumble, but you'll also repair. You'll apologize, you'll grow, and your child will witness something far more powerful than authority. They'll witness humanity. They'll learn that love isn't about never breaking, it's about learning how to mend. Every family hands down a script. Be strong. Don't cry. Don't talk back. Be who we need you to be. The words change, but the message stays the same. Don't disturb the peace. But peace built on repression isn't peace. It's paralysis. The day you begin to question the old script is the day you start writing a new one. You don't have to throw away the whole story. Some chapters are sacred, sacrifice, care, devotion. But others, guilt, shame, silence, they can end with you. And that's the beauty of awareness. You can't undo what was done to you, but you can choose what happens next. Our children don't need perfect parents. They need real ones. The ones who can say,
I don't know, son.
The ones who can say,
I'm sorry, son.
The ones who can cry and listen and change. Because good parents don't lose their children when they make mistakes. They lose them when they stop growing. One day, your child will walk out the door and not look back right away. They'll belong to the world more than to you, and that's how it's supposed to be. The goal was never to keep them. It was to love them well enough that they can leave without fear. And if you've done that, even imperfectly, you haven't lost them. You've set them free. Because love, the real kind, isn't about holding tighter. It's about remembering to breathe. If this spoke to your heart, subscribe and ring the bell. Let's keep growing together, one insight at a time.